The Chargers defense is kicking the offense's ass. Don't take my word for it. Ask Keenan Allen. The Rams? Well, you may as well just drop a lime and a Corona and hang out on the beach with Snoop. There is no drama there. And yes, USC football fans, Parker Lewis can lose. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is Faithful Angelenos. It is July 29th, 2022. It's a change of venue, you might have noticed. The reason being is that after I recorded yesterday, it took 5 hours to upload the video, so we're trying to see if we can streamline the process. If you like the content we've been putting out for the last 5 months, clickety-clack the like button, clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we come out with new clips. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And by all means, comment. I work graveyard shifts when I'm on the road. May as well chat sports. By the way, thanks to the new subscribers who came in. We appreciate all of you. Before we start talking about what's going on in LA, though, let's take a look at the scoreboard. Tyler Anderson is improved to 11-1. And the Dodgers also improved their lead in the NL West to 12 games. 13-0. They obliterated the Rockies. And in the meantime, down in Phoenix, they have this little thing called the WNBA. The Phoenix something or others defeated the Sparks 90-80. And I guess the let's show Liz Cambridge we're better off without her battle cry didn't exactly work out well. Meanwhile, today, the Dodgers are going to play Colorado at 6. That's Julio Urias versus Chad Kuhl. Urias 9-6, Kuhl 6-5. There's talk that Gareth Bale will get more time on the pitch tonight for LAFC. We'll find out. They host Seattle at also at 6. The Chargers defense is light years ahead of its offense after 2 days of practice. And keep in mind, I get it's only 2 days. But when your wide receiver Keenan Allen is saying, quote, they kicked our ass today, and the offense is actually pretty good, what does that mean? Defensive end Joey Bosa is excited about it. Quote, it feels like we've been together for longer than we have, unquote. Now, the Chargers coaches are doing a little bit of happy talk about how big the dominance of the defense is now over the offense. If you recall, we talked about it yesterday. 11-on-11, offense versus defense. The defense is just beating the hell out of the offense. 7-on-7, offense is moving the ball. Now, what does that tell you? It tells me that the defensive front for the Chargers is kicking the hell out of the offensive line. And that could be a problem if it persists. So the Chargers coaches are like, oh, no, this is great. Because everyone in the AFC West has this terrific pass rush, so they're going to be prepared. I'm just not sure I want to go there. See, because I would have a question, right? The question would be, if everyone in the AFC West has a great pass rush, then who has the best offensive line right now? And it's not the Chargers. It's the Kansas City Chiefs. You may not like that answer, but it's true. So the Chargers have to think about a couple of things. Remember, they rebuilt that right side of the offensive line. They don't know who their right tackle is. They have a rookie at right guard. So that might be the chink in the armor, so to speak. The LA Times is reporting that Khalil Mack, quote, annihilated his soft reputation. Who in their right mind would call Khalil Mack soft? Who outside the walls of an insane asylum would call Khalil Mack soft? Because it sure as hell ain't going to be me. I remember when the dude was with the Raiders, a former Cincinnati offensive coordinator called Mack, quote, a rolling ball of butcher knives. I ain't saying squat about Khalil Mack. No, thank you. Meanwhile, with the Rams, the beautiful thing for them is there's like no drama with the champs, which is a bit of a surprise, wouldn't you say? I mean, if you're part of the championship team, you come back and you're like, hey, I want more touches, I need more playing time, I need a better contract, and all that was taken care of. The closest thing to a controversy might be about assigning the coach, Sean McVay, and the GM to extensions. But they're happy, so they're not causing problems. And as a result, we get to focus on competition. So what does that mean? Well, we can appreciate Allen Robinson, the wide receiver, making such an impact that we might forget about Odell Beckham Jr. relatively soon. For that matter, 6th-round pick, defensive back Darian Kendrick is also making quite the impression. So is Coleman Shelton at right guard. Now, you might remember that they drafted Logan Bruss, their top pick, is also a guard. But weeks ago on this channel, we mentioned how Sean McVay defers to veterans on the offensive line. So Shelton has the inside track. On the opposite end of the spectrum, you're looking at defensive back Quentin Lake, who's on the physically unable to perform list. Now, if he's not getting reps, that probably held open a door for Kendrick to take advantage of, which he did. Also for the Rams, Matthew Stafford, while he is throwing, is on a quote-unquote pitch count, according to Sean McVay. And, well, things are going to turn up, as the kids say. The Rams today will be their first workout in pads, so we'll see how that works out for them. You might recall how former USC kicker Parker Lewis transferred to Ohio State. And on his way out the door, he said a few things about the Trojans and their fans that were a little unpleasant. Karma just hooked wide right. He is not even on the Buckeyes roster right now. He's not even eligible to play. He can't practice. He's not eligible. And oh, by the way, even if he were eligible, and he's had all spring and summer to do it, but even if he were eligible, it's not his job. The current kicker had made 20 of 21 field goals last year. This is why you shouldn't be a crap-talking kicker. I mean, I realize football is a game with a lot of testosterone and everybody wants to show how manly they are. But if you're a kicker, you got two jobs. Put the ball between the uprights and shut the hell up. You tempted fate, kid. You just lost. Meanwhile, over at UCLA, Casimir Allen was named to a watch list. No, not a federal one. It's one for the Paul Hornung Award, which goes to the most versatile player in the country. He's a former running back turned wide receiver, so good for him. At least now, the nation is going to wind up learning what the Bruins already knew about how good this guy was. Bill Plaschke of the LA Times was writing about the Dodgers about a week or so ago. Please don't trade for Juan Soto. Then Dylan Hernandez, also of the LA Times. Please, Dodgers, please trade for Juan Soto. And it's kind of funny when I was reading those two competing viewpoints, right? Because, like, if you ever watch Fox News, not that I would recommend it, but if you ever watch Fox News, they love to report those stats on black crime in Chicago and how horrible this is. And man, I don't know enough about Chicago, and I certainly am not an expert on race relations. So I don't want to talk about black on black violence. But I love reporter on reporter violence. And if those two guys get into a slap fight over Juan Soto, I am all for it. I would have the popcorn. I would have the soda. I would make it rain while they're trying to knock out each other's teeth. And I don't even hate either one of them. Please, guys, get into a fight over Juan Soto. That's all I ask. Dave Roberts said that starting pitcher Dustin May is going to make one more rehab start. Then they're going to figure out when to activate him. Also, relief pitcher Blake Trinan, he will face hitters tomorrow, or I should say today. Having said that, the goal is still a late August return. There's another decision, though, that Roberts might have to make soon, and that's on Max Muncy, who is still hitting below 200. He's making Cesar Izturis look like Sean Green. Yesterday, going into Colorado, the batting average was all the way down to 158. He went 1 for 5, which actually meant it improved. Now, Roberts says that LA is counting on him. He's been talking the guy up, but it's 2/3 of the way through the year. Things are not looking good. Former Lakers center Dwight Howard went to Nashville, not to pick up the drunk white chicks. Although, why not? No, instead he went there to audition for WWE. The WWE's in Nashville for one of their bigger pay-per-views. And people are wondering, was the tryout for Dwight legit? Was the tryout just goofing around? And I watched a lot of wrestling. And I'm here to tell you that anyone who wears his hair like Dwight Howard needs to get hit with an RKO. So I'm hoping it was serious. When you are in your late 30s, it is time to stop pretending that you're in your 20s, dude. If you're going to dress like that in your mid to late 30s, you're looking like a goofball. That means your wrestling tryout was legit. Somebody needs to hit you with the Stone Cold Stunner. The Diamond Cutter. Maybe Goldberg will put you in a jackhammer. I don't care. But until you learn how to dress yourself, you need to get hit with the rock bottom or put in the walls of Jericho. Doesn't matter. Whatever. Just don't come back to the Lakers. That ship is done sailed. Now, if you enjoyed today's broadcast, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We are trying to build something for LA sports. Thanks for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Quian Corta El Queso production. Take care.